Welcome, amazing and beautiful souls, to the Intentional Resonance Podcast. I'm your host, Joyce Mathers, and I am so excited and thrilled that you are here because together we are going to make intentional waves. This podcast is based on my new book, Intentional Resonance, and on to a new way of being, focusing on everything personal, professional, and spiritual development to reach Christ consciousness within, to birth a true heaven on earth. I hope you'll join us, and let's create. Welcome, amazing, beautiful souls and seekers. My name is Joyce Mathers, and this is my very first podcast. This is completely new to me, so I think this first one is just really introducing me, introducing the podcast, and giving a little bit of backstory about what I hope to accomplish here. One of the first questions is, why did I create this podcast? At the end of the day, I created this podcast based on my first book, a new book, Intentional Resonance, The Dawn to a New Way of Being. And that was a journey in writing it itself, which may bring you to the question, why did I write the book? Trust me, I ask myself that question a lot. At the end of the day, I think it is completing a cycle. What I've come to understand and know within my own life experience, that we have a shared purpose together as human beings, and that is to learn and also to teach that in which we learn, to share what we learn, that we might aid others in their own journey. So to me, it's really a completion of the process, because also what we teach, we compound that learning within ourselves. And it's all part of this beautiful evolutionary process of our own soul. So at the end of the day, what I'm hoping to do is to provide a space of community, knowledge, and healing so that we can become this magical force that changes our existence. And I don't just believe it's possible. I know it's possible from a very big knowing within myself. And if you're here, I'm sure you have it too. And I know I'm not the only human being on this planet that is sharing this message. And another thing that is important about all of us who are on this train of doing the last bit of healing and the desire to bring a lot of seekers and souls together who are seeking, who want better for themselves, for their families, and humanity, is that we know it's the only way of coming together. And all of us, if we really start talking to each other, we all seem to have the same vision. So it's quite easy to become a force. It's a term that I use in my book that is part of the equation in which I've named and coined intentional resonance. Maybe you can call me crazy, but I definitely think it's possible to change where we're at. And what brought me here, what led me to writing the book, Intentional Resonance, is actually born into existence, at least within my own mind, many years ago in 2009. Yet all my life, I've been this person that has always pondered these existential life questions. I think that's due in part that I didn't have an easy childhood. And possibly just like you that is listening right now, you probably didn't have it easy either. And what I've come to understand, as hard as it may be, is that these challenges were necessary for our learning so that we can come together right here, right now, and do the last bit of work. You see, I really believe, that by our coming together, it is like this last needed piece of a grander puzzle, that we are each pieces of a grander puzzle that are coming together and providing each other with important pieces that we each need to move us to the next step of our own evolution. We share our learning, and it's like this beautiful, organic, spiraling, expanding process of co-creation and of co-evolution. I can't say any more than that, because at the fundamental place, I think that's what it's all about, is our coming together and laying down both our inner and outer arms of defense and healing those bits, coming to a place of pure love, empathy, and compassion for each other, and just getting to putting all the differences aside and really getting to that human part of us in each of us, and where we can see that, hey, you're the same as me. I often talk about that each of us, and if you hear, I'm sure it will probably resonate with you as well, is that if you unzip this human soup, we're all the same at the end of the day. We're spirit having a human experience, and it doesn't matter what we look like in this physical form. We're truly all the same. We're truly all the same. We're all the same. Some existential life questions that have led me to where I am today have been a lot around happiness, because when we experience a lot of challenging things and trauma in a young life, that leads into spirals of depression, probably later on anxiety, and these are all things that I had to go through and face within myself. And so some of the questions that came up for me is this all there is to life? And that was coming from a place of experiencing at a young age, even though the majority of my young adult life was good, generally speaking. I think I had a pretty good family, but we all have our dysfunctions. But at the end of the day, I was in a family that loved each other, despite all of our unhealed generational traumas and idiosyncrasies. But you start to ask, is this it? Because inside, you feel like there's more, that you must be really missing something. And asking the questions, will I ever be happy? There's got to be more to this. Is there more than what I see? Who and what is God? I know that was a big question for me, because I was raised in foundational Christian teachings. And when I was young, it really didn't resonate with me, and it caused me to completely rebel against religion for a portion of my life. And I just felt there's got to be more than this. And I thought at the end of the day too, because there's different quotes, sayings out there, we are all but a mere speck of sand. And when you're in a low place, depressed place, you really think that your existence is quite menial. What difference would it make if I wasn't here anymore? And it may be just a lot easier for me if I wasn't. And these are all thoughts that we go through. And you wonder, is happiness even something I can really achieve? What is true happiness? And what about all the shit in the world? All the evil, as we name it, all the dysfunction, the poverty, the sickness, the injustice, the division. What about all of that? And when you look out in the world, especially from a low place within yourself, man, it's a little bit overwhelming, isn't it? I know, because I've been there. I've been on that edge of wanting to end my life. I've been on that edge of wishing that I could just evaporate into oblivion to save myself from the emotional pain that I was in, looking at a world that looks so freaking bleak. And it was these life questions that started to completely permeate my life, because there was something inside of me that said, I wanted more. There has to be more. I know there's more than this, and I just don't get it. I just don't get it. For a person who has suffered in mid-teenage years, emotional, physical, and mental abuse, it was an eye-opener to the rest of the world and how prevalent abuse is in so many different ways. And it really opened my eyes to the sickness of the world in all the different ways in which, really, I grew up in a small Alberta town. I was pretty much oblivious to. I was extremely naive in what I thought that the world was, which made me so unequivocally unprepared to be able to cope for the reality in which the world was when I entered it. But I made a decision at a point in my life, is in my early 20s, that I made the decision that I am never going to be depressed again, that I will scour this world for all the information that I need in order to heal myself, to have even a glimpse of peace and happiness within myself. And at the end of the day, that is where all of this began, and how I'm ending up in front of you right now, right here today. I knew from an age of 16 that I wanted to help people. When I was facing these horrible things that I was facing in my life, and just coming through and a little bit on the other side, I knew I wanted to help other people overcome the same, help others overcome their trauma, their pain, the sense of lack and doubt within themselves, to embrace confidence and power and incite limitless potential, even though that is still what I was searching for within myself. Now, I'm never going to claim that I'm perfect or that I'm 100% there yet, because I don't think I am. Because I have this belief that, if I reach complete enlightenment, then I'm not really going to be here, or I'm not going to be seen, or I don't know. I can come and go as I please. And to my knowledge, I haven't been able to do that yet. So here we are. So, but with this and now entering in the world stage of social media, this is a big place. And you never know, somebody's maybe going to come and say, hey, Joy, I think I have something that can help you. And I'm going to be like, wow, man, bring it. Right. And this is what I'm hoping this space is all about, is that we're coming together with these foundational pieces and foundational knowledge that is going to help each other. And at the end of the day, that's why I'm coming to you. I'm hoping that my experience, that my knowledge can help you in your journey. So who am I? Well, that's a big question. It's a really big question. I could say the way most of us starts to say of who we are based on the roles that we've played. So I can do that. And then I'll go a little bit deeper. The roles that I've played, of course, I am daughter, sister, mother, wife, employee, brought through the ranks of corporate, technical industry, someone who decided to finally change and follow their life passion, go back to school into life and leadership development coaching, completely do a 180 and jump into something different. Behind the scenes, since I was, that young pivotal age of experiencing a lot of trauma, I became a closet personal development junkie that a lot of people didn't know about. And especially back then, you didn't really want to start talking about that stuff because people think you're woo. And so I really didn't want to do that. those are the roles I've played. I also said that I'm a mom, right? And now being a coach, a professional leadership development coach for the last 11 years, who I have coached a span of industries and a span of individuals playing at different levels of roles in all of these ways, I have learned some fundamental truths. I've gained validation within myself of my own experience in healing and the things that are really important and ways of moving through things in order not just to change myself, but help ripple outwards towards others. And I always say, out there in the leadership development world, and in which I'm working with high-level leaders and executives, there's a different persona, but that it's kind of the different roles that I play, right? By coming into what I hope to do here is diminish the roles, and we're going to focus more on this aspect of being. So now if I answer the question again of who am I now? Who am I? I am a teacher. I am a child of the infinite creator, a spark of light, of infinite consciousness right here, right now, today, hoping to spread light, to inspire, to heal, and to motivate others to find the same thing within themselves. And from this place, I've been able to marry worlds, at least in my own way. And that's how I'm coming to you today, inviting you, come with me. Let's talk. Let's co-create. Let's do something magical. So together we really can move mountains. And I can't just say that I believe that is possible. It's a knowing. And if you have that in you, I invite you, hit me up. Let's connect. Let's talk. Let's share that to inspire others along the way. I really hope you'll join me. I love you. I see you. And I can't wait to see what this unfolds. Have an amazing day. If you are interested in purchasing my new book, Intentional Resonance, The Dawn to a New Way of Being, to contribute to your personal and spiritual development journey, it is available on Amazon in Kindle and paperback formats, Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, and worldwide. If you are interested in inquiring about the different types of coaching services I have to offer, or if you just want to connect, please choose one of the links below to reach out and connect. On TikTok, it's at Joy in Creation, on YouTube, at Intentional Resonance Project, and by email, intentionalresonanceproject@gmail.com. Looking forward to hearing from you. Talk soon.